I'm causing mayhem every motherfucking Mondays from now on, and I want y'all to bring it. No, you got your man out there doing bigger and better things, okay? And I blame, Trey asked a good question. How did it get so bad? I blame y'all. Because y'all been sitting on the fucking sidelines, letting these women do this bullshit, not setting boundaries, not telling women no, fuck off. And that's why we do what you allow us to do. You are one I love to hate and hate to love, but at the end of the day, I love you, baby girl. Come on the panel, let's go, please. Let's go. You're going to be in market, but you might go back limping. What's going on? What's going on to all my embracers on the Black Man Unfiltered Network tonight on Monday nights, causing mayhem. Yup, you know what it is. So y'all sit y'all asses down and let's get into it. So with that being said, I do want to let you guys know that you can find me here every Monday night on the Black Man Unfiltered, every Tuesday night on the Black Man Unfiltered on Flipping Tables. You can find me Thursday night on the JVJ Network with my show. And of course, you can find my channel and my shit to go check out. So make sure you guys always like and subscribe, support the network, and support all the great hard-working content creators that be putting in the work 7 days a week. So with that being said, what are we talking about tonight? What dust is Grace kicking up tonight? I am kicking up. We're going to start off on a tender, loving moment because I think we need more of that. I think we need to see more of that. But of course, it comes with some foolery at the end. But let's go ahead and start on a good note and let's pull on those heartstrings. Okay, let's do it. Roll the tape. She's only been gone for 2 weeks for a wedding. Married over 50 years. This is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. It never stops. It never stops, no matter what color you are. Got a box of chocolates in his hands, some flowers, dressed nice. He waiting on his baby. He sure is. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Still with the flowers, still with the candy. Look, okay. So I wanted to show that video, ladies and gentlemen, because we need to see more of that. You know, everybody says, well, what are the solutions? What are we doing? All we do is talk about the negative, rah, rah, rah. But I want everybody to see what the end result is. Why is it that content creators like me and Take Heed and BMU and Lit and JT, What We Know podcast, Our Pain, the whole crew, why we take the time and the energy and the effort? This is what we want. No matter what race you are, what color, or whatever, damn. At the end of the day is about family. At the end of the day is about leaving a legacy, generational wealth. She's only been gone for 2 weeks, and you can see he was anxious, the anxiety. And that's the beautiful part of this. And why do we all want to do this? Because we wanna, here comes the fuckery, y'all. Here it is. We do this because we want to get picked at the end of the day. But it's a bad thing we want to get picked, because a lot of women like me and others get called pick-me's. What the fuck is that about? You're a pick-me. Well, isn't that what we want at the end of the day, is to get picked? You don't want to be sitting on the bench and nobody pick you to play a kickball with them. So let me try to embrace this, because this is how goddamn silly it looks like. So you get upset because you're not getting picked. You get upset at who is getting picked. And because they're getting picked, we're pick-me's. Well, you sure is picky. And the pickings are slim. Oh, that was clever. That was clever. But at the end of the day, isn't this why we do what we do? So we can have that kind of marriage? That is what marriage is about, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it looks like. If you've never seen it or dreamed about it, not this bullshit happily ever after, but that is what it's about. Seriously. At the end of the day is to be with somebody to the end of your days. To have somebody holding your hand when you're about to cross over. Not to be in a room alone and for medical staff to just come and bag you up and take you downstairs alone. You want to have your family there and your children and your wife, but we just have so much fuckery in between A and Z that we never get to Z. What is going on with us? We really got to get back on track to that. That's why I showed that video, because that video was heartwarming. It is possible. I see couples all the time, elderly couples, and the first thing I always ask them is, how long y'all been married and what's your secret? And a lot of them say the same thing a lot. Respect, communication, reciprocation. There's some simps out there that say to me, yes, dear, happy wife, happy life. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all men matter too. Your happiness matters too. Your peace matters too. But you got to make it matter first before you make her make it matter, because it matters. Damn, I'm on the road tonight. No, this is, and another reason why this touched my heart is because this is what I grew up seeing. I mean, my parents weren't the perfect couple, but he went hard in the paint for my mom. But the thing is, my mom went hard in the paint for my dad. And they did it for each other, with each other, and to each other for 37 years. So I can talk about marriage. I grew up in it. I didn't move out the house till I was 17. So for 17 years straight, I saw that. I saw the bad and the good too, but I'm not going to dwell on that. Every Friday, flowers, taking her out, dining, But you best believe that meal was there. You know what I had to do when my dad used to come home from work? He would take his shower and I would have to rub his feet with Bengay. That was my job from 6 to 6:30 p.m. because dinner was always at 6. And I hated the smell. Even with the gloves and everything. I can't stand the smell to this day. That I was in training when I was doing that was training me. I would have to serve my brother. I didn't do a lot, but I saw a lot. I used to go to my aunties and my uncles on the weekends in the city, and uncle would wake up early, go get go get everything for breakfast. Then my auntie will wake up, make breakfast, feed us all. Because in the old days, you used to bring your sleeping bag and go to the house and go sleep, have sleepovers. Your friends were your cousins. You didn't have outsiders. That's how we grew up. Our Gen X. We used to have sleepovers every other week, every different week in a different family member house. And then after lunch and she clean up and everything, I'd see her groom my uncle, do his nose hairs, his ear hairs, cut his hair, shave him. It was like total. That's what I grew up on, and I get it. A lot of us, a lot of people didn't grow up seeing that. But does that make it an excuse? Is that what we're always going to say? Is that the crutch we're going to fall on? And that's when you hear it on these YouTube streets that you want to be married, but you don't want to put the work in. You want the big wedding, the bullshit just to impress the Joneses. But are you really ready to fulfill that job description? Because it's a lot of work, ladies. It is. It's a lot of work. But at the end of the day, it is worth it when you see videos like that. When you have somebody to come home to when you have a bad day. When you have somebody to call when you get a promotion or something good happens. Little shit like that matters. But we're so busy in social media. We're so busy with exercising our options. And sometimes you have to because there's piss in the dating pool. I even think I saw a Babe Ruth candy bar in there too. It's bad out here in these streets. So to y'all married folks, stay married. To y'all divorced folks, y'all did it once, do it again. To y'all unmarried folks, it's a good thing. It brings more good than bad, depending on how you look at it. Because if you think you're a slave because you got to cook and clean, don't you have to cook and clean anyway for the kids and for yourself? Oh, I know. I know. I didn't heard some horror stories. Um, don't you have to take care of yourself anyway and wash clothes and clean the bathroom and do this? Don't you have to do that anyway? So just because you have a man there, it's a problem? Now you're a slave? I mean, really make that make sense. A lot of us really do sound silly and stupid with these unrealistic expectations. You out here dressed up, GQ'd, fly from head to toe, but don't know how to boil water. Where they do that at? And then y'all want to get mad at rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. I didn't do nothing yesterday on YouTube in his memory. I can't believe it's been 2 years. When he used to say, y'all better get a cookbook. What is wrong with saying that? Why are the things that he used to say so wrong? Why are the things that I say people get so easily offended? Is it because there's some truth to it? And a lot of people can't handle the truth. They say they want the truth, but they can't handle the truth. Don't ever ask a question that you're not ready to hear the answer. Because then you're going to get mad at that person because the person told you the truth. That's why it's easier to lie. Go check out my show that I did. Why do people lie? It's crazy. But let me give you the official definition of what pick me means, because I do my research, and yes, I write my notes on index cards so I can have my thoughts and my information in on tap. And there's nothing wrong with that. The fact that somebody hated on me about that makes me laugh. I'm like, wow, I made a lot of money off of notes in high school because my shit was legit, organized, color coded, tabbed up. But anyway, what is a pick me? A pick me this is the urban definition. This is how something so, I don't get it. When y'all get engaged, y'all are the first ones to put it on in the Instagram, tagging people and shit to make sure you see them. That's crazy. So you're letting the world know that you got picked, but you want to call other women pick me's. I mean, do you see how asinine that sounds? You get picked so you can pick a wedding dress, so you can pick a venue, so you can pick a church, so you can pick a priest or a pastor, so you can pick the people that's coming to your wedding, so you can pick where you're going on a honeymoon. It's all about motherfucking picking. So go sit your ass down. Talking about pick me. A pick me. A woman who asserts that she is unlike most other women in order to gain attention, approval, or validation from men. It's funny to me how women can easily insult other women for going against the grain, but are so quick to post when they get engaged, when they get the ring, when they get proposed to. I mean, isn't that the ultimate goal? Is to get picked? But you want to call other women pick me's? I mean that is why to a lot of men we just seem so irrational and so illogical. Oh, there it is. There she come. I knew you was coming, boo. I set the table. I set a place for you at the table because you bring some meat to the conversation. What does it say there? But I don't understand, why does Black relationships have to include violence and abuse? Why does it have to include that? Well, Lady D, because that's what maybe that person grew up seeing. They weren't so lucky to see the kind of marriage I saw among my parents. And then they grow up with that. They don't get help. They don't get therapy. So it's a vicious cycle. And that generational curse goes on and on and on. Are we talking about work or suffering abuse from a man? Well, do you know that men get abused too? We just don't hear about it because we shame them. And as you know, I'm an advocate for the men. So we already know what's going on with the motherfucking women. And you know what? We need to do better on that. You're absolutely right, Lady D, and I agree with you on that. But we're not talking about that tonight. You see, what you do is called deflection. Okay? People come up here with topics and stuff, but then you always want to deflect and take the limelight off of the topic and turn it around. Well, what about the men? Well, what about this? We've been talking about the men for years. Now it's about time to talk about motherfucking us, because women suck and we've been sucking. And then the more women that can admit that and come to terms with that and then do something about it for the better, then you know what? We all be in a better place. Because there's a movement going on. This drizzle is happening. Men are talking. Men are tired. Men want better from themselves. Hi, hi, Miss Doreen. How are you today? See, that's a queen right there too. She's beautiful. She's smart. She got her a good man. Why? Because she knows. She knows what it takes. But we just refuse. We refuse to do the work. We refuse to put in the effort. Isn't this what the fuck y'all wanted? Y'all wanted to make your own money. Y'all wanted to work. You wanted equality. Feminism tricked the shit out of y'all. And now look at y'all. I'm tired. I work 2 jobs. Well, isn't that what the hell you wanted? Your own independence? You wanted your own money. You wanted your own house. You wanted your own car. You wanted your own shit. But you never took into consideration what you're sacrificing to get all that. It's like y'all literally sold your soul to him. I don't even want to grace him with his name. Daddy government took over for y'all. Now again, let me put this disclaimer out, so nobody gets their panties in a bunch. Okay? If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Okay? I'm not talking about anything or anyone in particular. But if the motherfucking shoe fits, then wear it. And sit in it. And marinate in it. And see what you can do better. How about that? So again, back to the pick me situation. It's crazy how when somebody is trying to do something positive or trying to talk about something positive, it gets shamed. The sign language. Again, I'm gonna be doing a lot of reference points to Kevin Samuels tonight because I'm still in mourning over him. We needed him. He was necessary. And to this day, I still think there's something funny about that whole situation, but we won't go there. He talked about sign language, and that shit is real. Because I would literally, if I'm getting into a heated conversation with somebody or something's going on, I would literally sit there and wait for it. Oh, there's the shame. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, up, 2, 1. There's the insults. Bringing up old shit. Then comes the guilt. I'm trying to make you feel guilty. Trying to make you deflect like Lady D does. And then when she sees when all those 3 things are not working, and not she, when he or she, because men do it too. And it's funny when men do it because it's very, very subtle with the men, and sometimes I don't think they even know they're doing it, but it's funny to me. Then comes the need to be right. You just don't know when to shut the fuck up and just agree to disagree. You just keep going and going and going and going just to prove that you're right. But then you expect to get picked. And then when you don't get picked, you get mad at the people that do get picked. And then you insult them by calling them a pick-me. I'm going to close out with that video too because I think it's very, very heartwarming. Now, if anybody wants to come up, wants to address something, talk to me, especially my married folks, we talk a lot about what we need to do to protect ourselves when we're married, but we need to talk about the positive things about being married. If we want to convince people to get married. But all people showcase is the bad shit. And I'm guilty of it too. But I think that I try to bring a common ground to things. I do bring solutions. We do talk about things that we can do better because when we know better, we do better. You can't use the excuse for I was raised like that. Nah, bro, nah. You can YouTube it. You can Google it. You don't know how to do something. You don't understand something. Look it up. Do the research. Learn how to cook. Get a basic cookbook and work your way up. I have turned cooking for me into therapy. I could be mad as hell. Mad as hell. I'll get in that kitchen and just start cooking. And that'll calm me down. That'll take my mind off of the argument or whatever, or the situation. And that's when I do my best shit come out the kitchen. But I enjoy cooking. That's a different. That's different. You have to actually like cooking, and then if you like cooking, you start enjoy to cook, and if you enjoy and like to cook and put love in it, man, I hear you. So again, with the pick me bullshit. So you ladies out there, stop calling other women that get picked or go against the grain, no matter what color they are. I got to throw that in, so people don't get their panties in a bunch, once in a while. Because I don't have a right to speak on it, but sit your ass down. It's Monday Mayhem. Um, Stop. Instead of showing sign language and insulting the person, why don't you try to learn from the person? I'm not perfect and I don't know everything. Oh, another disclaimer. I'm not a licensed therapist or psychiatrist, but I am an expert in life and shit that I've been through. And nobody's the same person that they were last week, last month, last year, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And people love to dig up your past. They love to show your mistakes up front. But that to me, I am still watching you. You're on my flat screen. I'm rubbing down. Oh, it's so nasty. I love y'all. You see, that's a marriage. I love it. I love it. That's what people need to hear. When you talk about your king, take heed. I get butterflies and I get that tingling because one, I've been there, done that, and I get it. And if more women would just understand the importance, I mean, I do it on my channel, the importance of intimacy. It's not always about sex. Um, what is it? What did she say? I'm very happy for married women. That's good. You should be happy for married women. Hi, hope you are too. Great flying high. Hope you are too. Okay, they're talking. Um, but that's so Lady D, you say that you're very happy too without being married. Is that what you're saying? And guys, don't forget to support the channel. Embrace the Grace 23 Cash App. Don't forget to support the network. Show some love because we be grinding over here. Everybody that's on here be grinding. But yeah, so just stop with the insults. Stop the name calling. If you don't like what somebody says, just change the channel. Unsub them. But this is a freak fucking country. You could talk and say whatever you want. I mean, but to go after a person's character, to call them names, when you at the end of the day are trying to do the same thing and get picked and have a loved one and then get engaged and then eventually get married, isn't that the goal? Oh, maybe not. A lot of us would rather be baby mamas than wives. That's right. A lot of us are just having babies from men that they don't even know, letting them shoot up the club. A lot of women are using the children as pawn. That's much better, right? Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? Do you see how asinine that sounds? And look, I'm not saying don't have your fun, but you don't have to bring a human into the situation and make them a bastard child. You really don't. And then who ends up taking care of them? The people that go to work every day, Monday through Friday, have to pay taxes. Yeah, I'm going in deep with this bullshit. The ultimate goal is to create a strong family unit because at the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan and nobody on the outside gives a shit about you, it's your family. But what families are we creating lately? What are we doing right now? What are we doing? All right, so we're gonna move on to the next video. Don't forget, guys, Black Man or Black, drop the link. Y'all want to come up here and talk, say what you got to say. I kind of really freestyle it on Mondays because I want you guys to get to know more of the me versus my notes on my index cards. You know what I'm saying? Versus my statistics and my information. So I give you a lot of me. You see a lot more of embrace and my thoughts and my ideas. Again, I'm not perfect. And I may say some shit that's out of pocket, but I can do that. What? It's a free country, First Amendment. And that's okay. And that's right. People are welcome to respond in their manner. But you know what? There's a classy way to respond, and then there's an unclassy way to respond. But with that being said, let's watch the next tape. See what we got.
You finally get with someone that her feelings matter more than yours, meaning that you doing something to disrespect her will make you feel hurt because you're hurting her. When you get to that point, bro, that you don't want to ever see this person hurt, that's when you know this person is really the person for you.
Okay, so I brought that video up, and we're gonna do that's gonna be for men and women. Do most of us even act like that nowadays? Do we put that other person? You say you like somebody and you say you love them. You say a lot of shit, but do you actually do it? Action speak louder than words. Everything is all gravy when you're popping bottles and having fun and going on trips. But are you going to be there for that person when that person hurts themselves on the job and they can't work anymore and they cut their hours? What are you going to do? Are you going to bail? Or are you going to push through it? Because you did say for better or for worse. Right? You did say better or for worse. Or was that just a facade, like most people? Well, that's just because it sounded good at the time. Was that because that's what it was supposed to be at the moment? I like getting picked for a job. I'll tell you, boy. We're not talking about jobs, Lady D. We're talking about marriage. Okay? Come back. Come back. You're going in the deep end. Come back. You see how you're deflecting? You see what I'm saying? I mean, I know y'all see it, right? I know you see it. You see the deflection? Do you like getting picked by a man, Lady D? When was the last time you had a man? When was the last time you went on a date and let your hair down and looked beautiful and got dressed up and got treated like a queen? Exactly. You always keep up bringing your three sons and this and that, but what we know they good. You remind us every show that they good, but what about you? Are you good? Because your son's got his own families to think about. They busy over there raising their children, being with a wife. What you doing? What you doing? So go sit your ass down and let's continue with the show. So I brought that video up because it just shows the depth of what it really takes for a person. I mean, yes, it was a man saying it, but let's switch it around and have a woman say it. Us women, do we really consider our man's feelings? Do we really put him first before us? Do we really care about how his day was? Do we check in on them? Hey, you good? You ate today? You need anything? Nah. It's all about what can you do for me and what have you done for me lately. And that sucks of y'all women. A lot of y'all women have that attitude. You walk around entitled. I did a show last week. What the fuck you bring to the table? You think just because you bring box and your looks that's enough? That shit fades. And box gets old and boring. Especially if you just lay there like a dead fish and you don't make it fun. And the thing is that I can already hear Lady D say, well, you could do all that and be perfect and get cheated on. Yep, absolutely. Nothing in life is guaranteed. Only death and taxes. Nothing in life is guaranteed. So when you marry somebody, you are taking a chance. You are taking a risk. Absolutely. But a lot of us are not willing to take that risk. But you're willing to have children by yourself? And not one, not two, not three, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by yourself? But you're not willing to have a man? You say a lot of us have been raised to be strong and independent. But you want a provider and somebody to pay your bills. I mean, really make it make sense. Which one is it? Because y'all, a lot of y'all sound stupid, and you don't make sense. And it makes women like me be looked at sideways. Like, are you like that too? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy on some of the shit that y'all really expect men to do. Take that chance. But the thing is, I get it. I get it. We've been hurt. We've been burned. We've been cheated on. We've been abused. I get it. But you cannot stop trying. You cannot lose hope. We got to keep going. We were not meant to be by ourselves in this world. We were meant to coexist together and build together and show each other respect and consider that person's feeling. And if it doesn't work out, shit, I didn't got my heart broke. I'm still here. You just got to get over shit, but you can't give up. This shit, there was a time when I gave up on love. I'm like, you know what? That ship has sailed for me. I'm not with it. But while you're going through the hurt, that's what you're gonna think. Nah, fuck that. Never gonna. You know, it's. Trust me. Sometimes it's just easier to deal with people without emotions and just keep it moving. But at the end of the day, and at the end of our lives, we want that person to be there. We want our last days to be surrounded with the family that we love. But what are we doing right now? That's why I tell my male embracers, protect your name, your last name, protect your seed, protect your money, and protect your peace. I'm a boy mom all the way through and through. I tell my son that all the time. You work hard. Takes a lot of hours to make that little money you make. For what? To feed a female that don't even appreciate it? That says that the Cheesecake Factory is not enough? You're only 18. What does she expect? You better be happy with a 2-piece and a biscuit and keep it moving, biatch. Oh, let me stop. Sit your ass down, Monday Mayhem. My bad. I told you y'all gonna get to know me a lot more better. You know, it can't always be so serious. I mean, it's just the expectations are off the chain. The expectations are off the chain. But there is a good video that I have, Black man. If you could run that one, the female um talking, if you could put that video up while I look at what's going on my channel, see what's going on with my embracers. You got it? Where you at, Grace? Where you at?
Really expensive things, but she didn't come from money. Chances are it came from another man. A man showed her this lifestyle, and now she's become addicted to this lifestyle. So look at her taste and then look at her childhood. If they are in line, she's not a gold digger. She just comes from money and is attracted to men with money. But if her childhood was very financially insecure, but her standards are very financially expensive, then chances are a man introduced her to that lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle that she wants to keep.
So I bring that video up because there are some women that were born into that lifestyle, and they're going to maintain that lifestyle because that's what they were raised into. But then there are some women that they were introduced to that lifestyle, and as raggedy as they are, they expect to keep that lifestyle with raggedy ass behavior. Again, where they do that at? And I understand. Shit, vagina has started wars, have brought down dynasties, and has caused a lot of mayhem. But at the end of the day, we're still 11 women to one man. So that means you got to knock out 11 bitches to get to one. 10. Okay? Men are opening their eyes. Men are not sitting on the sideline anymore. They're talking. And they're talking amongst each other. And they're changing. And y'all better change with them because it's going to be crazy. Now, for the woman that grew up with money and knows about money, then she's just going to naturally be around people that have money too. Okay? But a lot of us that didn't grow up with money and come into money or make something of themselves and then get cut off and then expect the next person to be that way. It don't work like that. It don't work like. I'm gonna bring this up again, and it stayed with me. Man on Instagram said it's okay. Make your list. Write everything you want in a man and put it down on the list. But before you demand the list, make sure you become the list. That's some real G shit. It really is. Become the list before you expect somebody else to list you. Make sure you check off all the boxes first before you go over there and check off somebody's box. Because it looks ridiculous. And a lot of simps are easily got because they're so consumed with the fat ass and the big titties and the beautiful face. I get it. I get it. I tell y'all all the time, it's like taking candy from a baby. But it's when you use it with ill will intentions and to hurt somebody, that's when it's ugly. You gotta know when to shut the fuck up and sit your ass down. You gotta know when it's time to speak and when not time. And I know this sounds kind of mammy-ish or pick-me-ish, but at the end of the day, those are the marriages that have lasted for years. Those are the ones that have strong family units. If you allow the man to lead, if you allow that man to shoot up in your club, why will you not allow him to lead the household? I'm like, oh, I know. I get it. My bad. They're only good for money and dick. That's what it is? Is that what it is? Now, some of y'all, that's all y'all have to offer. I'm gonna keep it real, because I gotta side with my. At the end of the day, I'm still a woman. A woman. A lot of time, that's all what a lot of y'all just bring to the table, and us women accept it. But what I'm trying to get out here is that you don't have to accept it, and you could change. I didn't have to change some of my standards. What I liked when I was 20, I don't like now. What I liked 5 years ago, I don't like now. We're constantly changing and evolving. But marriage is important. Marriage creates family units. Family units create generational wealth. Generational wealth creates legacy. It's important. It's important to embrace that concept. And if you don't want to embrace that concept, just don't bring kids into the mix. Do you, do them, do each other, but don't bring a child into this world. Because now it involves everybody. And yeah, it does involve everybody. Especially if you're single, especially if you're on government assistance, especially if you don't have a job. We all got to pick up your slack. And I'm tired of picking up y'all slack. No matter what race, creed, or religion, whatever it is. We tired. Us hardworking people that has gone to school, have done the work, have gone to trade school and work hard every day, served the military, first responders in the medical care field, working 12-hour shifts for what? To pay for your goddamn kids where you sit at home waiting on a check? Again, where they do that at? Why is that okay? And that's where people like me and BMU and Take Heed and JT and our Pain and RBM and the whole family, we out here, we outside, we trying to make a difference. We trying to show y'all a different way. I don't get it. Yeah, I've been married. Yeah, absolutely. I required marriage. Yeah. After 12 years, it didn't work out, and that's okay. Did I have some say in the deterioration of the marriage? Absolutely. You don't see that while you're going through it. But now I know better. And my sure as hell gonna do better. Cause the next husband I get, he gonna be straight. He ain't going nowhere. Y'all remember that scene? You ain't going. I got you. I know what I did wrong. I know what I need correct. I know what I need to do better. And I know what I need to continue doing. Y'all already know. It's not what you go through, it's what you learn from what you go through. And if you got legit people telling you things and trying to talk to you so you can see and try to do better, and instead of insulting them and dragging them through the mud, just take heed to the message. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't be mad. Or you could put a cape on it and be super mad. Or you could just be mad. But I'm going to keep going because that's what life is about. I'm going to keep embracing. I'm going to keep learning. We got to keep evolving. We got to keep growing. We got to keep healing. It's never ending until the day we take our last breath. Okay, so we saw 3 videos so far. We saw the sweet old man, anxious, waiting on his wife. She was only gone for 2 weeks. Damn. But it's that connection. Then we saw the guy talk about how when you put somebody's feelings in front of them, I mean, do we really put that fourth energy when we rocking with somebody? Or it is about what they can do for you? And then the third video I was showing is to give you guys a perception of that sometimes having a high maintenance life can be explained, but a lot of times and most of the time, no. You're delusional, self-entitled, and spoiled. Go sit your ass down. So I think I got one last video. I think I've talked enough. I hope I got some message across. I hope I was able to have somebody look at something different. You know what I'm saying? Tonight's a quiet night, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's see the next video, BMU, please and thank you. See what we got. See what we got. You got it? You there? Did you fall asleep?
Will not marry somebody he's cool with. He's not going to marry somebody that he likes. Just because I like you don't mean I'm going to marry you. You will not impress him with your looks. Your looks will get him to look, but afterwards he'll look the other way. Because as good as you think you look, there's another lady that looks just as good as you, if not better. Have you ever noticed that there are men who will marry a woman that looks less good because the true beauty in who she is the fact that she challenges him to be a better person? You see, there's not one man in here who will marry a woman just because she looked good and just because she got a nice smile, just because, nah, that's not why he's marrying you. He's marrying you because one day he sat on a bed and he said, this woman makes me want to do something real. This woman makes me want to have kids. This woman makes me want to have a business, have a job, get my money right, get it together. That's what relationship is all about. You see, relationship is not friendship. Friendship is just courting, but relationship is partnership.
He said a mouthful there. He said a mouthful there. Relationship. Yeah, he likes the looks. Have you ever noticed? Have you ever like been out and you see a good-looking person with an average-looking person? That's because we're so caught up on looks. We're so caught up on looks, but we don't really think about the context of the character of the person. Yeah, they may be beautiful and they may be hot and got that fat ass and just, you know, but at the end of the day, what else do you bring to the table? Tell me. What are you going to offer to that person in the relationship, that man? And we've talked a lot about this. A man gives up his little black book. He gives up his freedom. He gives up his money, his peace. He says, okay, you're the only one I'm going to sleep with for the rest of my life. And then you have the audacity to not give him some. I mean, make that make sense. Okay, you know, I'm thinking of Lady D right now. Well, what is the? Yeah, we give back too, but that's what it's supposed to be, a give and take. Yo, I heard Trey tonight on our Pain show, and I mean, it was so crude and abrasive, but it was real. When he said, you're fucking useless. All you could do is cook and have sex with me. That's what we have diminished ourselves to, because we haven't shown that we can offer more to a man. I'm sorry, Trey. I have a lot more to offer. I don't go in that category, but you're right. I can't knock you for what you said. Skinny Boy said, Grace, I am the table. Anissa says, shouldn't a man want those things on his own without the woman? Absolutely. Absolutely, Anissa. But at the end of the day, the woman, what the difference is that the woman wants it already made. I was on another. I was watching another show, another channel, about where he said, and he said it. He said it. Black women don't know what the meaning of building is. Don't get mad at me. Don't throw out a couple lives and shit. You know what I'm saying? But the facts remains is that this was a black man saying black women just don't know how to build with they black men. But y'all want to get mad at me and call me a pick-me. A woman that has a lot to offer will also have standards. Absolutely, babe. And she should. And she should. But the thing is when these standards get to be unrealistic, better a pick me than a skip me. Ooh, I'm gonna be take heed. That's nasty. Oh, I love it. I love it. When I start getting monetized, I'm gonna have something on my channel. A top 3 comments. Better a pick me than a skip me. See, right now you be in the running for the #1 comment. I like that. Women ain't shit.
Why?
Because women ain't shit.
Why?
Because women. That's nasty. That was nasty. You see, I write a lot of stuff down because I gotta go back to it. I don't take that down. I gotta write that. Better a pick me. Better a pick me than a skip me. Ooh, take heed. That nasty. Oh, Lord have mercy. You're absolutely right. That's why I laugh when I get called a pick me. Or I'm weak. Or I put up with a lot of shit. Yeah, but I'm not miserable. That's BS. Most black women have had to build. Most of us don't get a man at the finish line. But hold on, that's BS. Most black women have had to build. But no, you build for yourself. But did you build with a man? That's what I'm trying to emphasize, Anissa. Yeah, you build for yourself. You get your degrees, you get your PhD, you get the big mansion, you get the cars, you get the nice clothes, you get the purses. You did everything yourself. Okay. Congratulations. Now, does all that shit matter at the end of the day? Can you bring your purse with you when you're at the hospital and you need somebody to be there when you wake up to hold your hand? Can a purse? Well, yeah, a purse does make me feel better. You know, but that's instant gratification, but it's not long term. That's the difference. But do we build with somebody to have legacy for our children? No, we build ourselves, like my dad used to say, hooray for me and fuck everybody else. So if everybody builds for themselves, how does that help the community? Most women who are married had to build with that man. Nothing wrong if a woman creates a life for herself before she's married. What are you saying? What I'm talking about are the women that expect the men. I'm not talking about those women, Anissa. You got to hear what I'm saying. I'm talking about the women that expect the ready-made man, that expect the man to be making 6 figures, that expect the man to be driving a Maserati, that expect the man to have already $50,000 in his pocket, but she ain't shit. Don't want to do shit. Ain't about shit. That's what I'm talking about. The men that are looked over, that are good men, the plumbers, the air conditioner guys, the roofers, the landscapers. What about them? They're not good men? Oh, because they're not, they maybe they're in the middle of building. Nobody wants, everybody wants the ready-made man, and I'm trying to get the message out to the younger women that it's not always going to be that way. It's only 10% of men that are considered high value men. The demographic of women is increasing. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah, there's going to be more women and less men, and it's really going to be, you know, it is a competition. And then a lot of women think that now that they got the ring and got the man and are married, that it's over. It's just begun. I remember my dad used to tell my brother, yeah, it's easy to get a girl. Girls are easy. The trick is, can you keep them? Can you keep them? Yeah, you can get a man to sleep with you and be with you and kick it with you. But is he going to be your man? Is he going to be, are you going to be under his covering? That's the difference. My girl Take He said, Minister Louis Farrakhan said, women have failed at womanhood if only have education to fall back on. And even then, that gets old too, because you're spending half your life paying out student loans. Anissa says, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you should expect to build. But Anissa, that's not what's happening, baby girl. You and I know that. Take Heed know that. But that's not what's happening. I lived next door to an awesome Jamaican family, and they had a young son. And we would talk a lot. He was in his mid-20s and stuff, and him and my son used to go out and play ball. And he came to me one day. He was like, can I talk to you for a second, Miss Grace? You know, I know you have your podcast and you be talking. And he was like, this female had the audacity to say, if I don't give her a Birkin bag, she not going to give me no box. I looked at him and I said, first of all, can the bitch even spell Birkin? Oh, I'm sorry. Can Lady D, hold on. I gotta read this. I'm not going to argue with these people, because when I look around, the white Kardashians are the millionaires with a full house of black babies and a bank account full of monies and cars. Honey, they had money before them black babies came on the scene. So I don't know what you're talking about. Her daddy was the one that her daddy was O.J. Simpson's lawyer. So what is the black babies and a bank full of money and cars have to do? The Kardashians been rich. That's old money right there. The girls just took it to the next level. They just took it to the next level. Unless you marry an older man who has already done the work. And daddy was an attorney for OJ. There he goes. So the white women get the NFL and NBA players, and then we're told to accept the plumber and fry boy at the McDonald's. Yeah, because when he was in college, you wouldn't eat Roman noodles with him. Okay? You wouldn't put in the work while he was playing ball. You wouldn't get a towel for him to get the sweat off of him. You wouldn't wake up at 4 a.m. with him and drive him to the gym so he could take 500 shots and practice on his craft. No. A lot of women are not willing to do that. They're not willing to do the work. But Becky was. Hi, Lit. How are you, my dear? Another good show tonight. I'm up against a lot of ones tonight. Humble Dad had, I wanted to go on that panel. Hey, Daddy came out of retirement to represent, and they still have money. They've always had money, Lady D. Again, you're deflecting from the topic as usual. They already had money. They come from money. Stop sleeping with broke men. They ain't got nothing to do. See, it's not about having money. What about the content of their character? Money doesn't impress me, Lady D, because I come from money. Contrary to popular belief. That's nothing new to me. There's nothing that a man can have to give me or do for me that my daddy didn't already do. So since they can't impress me with that, impress me with your character. Impress me with your heart. Impress me with your intelligence. Impress me with that good. You know what I'm saying? Because there really isn't nothing that a man can do for me that my daddy hasn't already done for me. Some big shoes to fill. So that's why I've never really went for the rich guys. I mean, I've dated NFL player, NBA player, and all the same bullshit. They all got to put their pants on at one leg at a time. You know, it's all the same. But I don't like to deal with, see, men with not all, there's a lot of good men out there with money, but a lot of them are very arrogant, controlling. So yeah, I agree that a woman has to have her own, but then there's a time where you got to say, okay, it's time to start a family. I agree with Kevin Samuels when he said work, make your wife work for you in the business. Absolutely. Because you're working for the business. The business is a part of y'all. Then you got your hands in the business and know what's going on instead of a secretary running everything. I mean, don't y'all see it? And I never really saw it in the way that Kevin Samuels said when he's like, you're taking the direction of another man. And you should only be taking the direction. But that's inevitable because when we go to work, we're going to have a boss. Y'all got to make each other happy and keep black women out your mouth. I can say or do whatever I want, Lady D. You the one that bring up black babies. You the one that bring up race all the time. You the one that come to these channels and troll us. But we've embraced you. I mean, I go back and forth with you, but when I get tired of playing, we get you out of there. So, I mean, if your life was so great, how come you have all this time to troll on YouTube? If everything was so great, huh? No, Becky was icing his knees and his ankles and fixing his plate. Absolutely. And who's Becky's gonna be on NFL signing day right there. And she know her damn place. She didn't even move. She let the mama get the hugs, the daddy and everything. And then when her time came, she got the hug. Yep. Yep. So don't get mad. Don't get mad. They just play the position better. They know when to sit the fuck down. They know when to be quiet. And what you don't understand is that a lot of these young men are going to schools where it's practically just all white kids. The only black people are the athletes. So what? He's not going to date? What does that say? Black women are our women, and we will not keep them names out your mouth. Black women are our women. We will not. I don't get that one. They are strategic. They sure are. Oh, I got this one video I got to show y'all. They are very, very strategic. They plan. She waiting for that battery to charge on the roads. Oh, hell. No. I mean, you seem to find a lot of time to troll, Lady D. I mean, we at least up here doing our shit, doing our shows. But what you got going on? I mean, I know you want you some lit. I understand that. I get it, girl. I get it. That voice got to you, didn't it? It gets to a lot of them. Oh, okay. Okay, lit. How you doing today, sir?
I'm gonna give you what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Did you hear what I said?
I'm coming to the door. I'm gonna give you what you're looking for.
How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good, Gracie. How you doing, darling?
I'm good. I'm enjoying. I've learned that it's not always necessary to have a panel. And like I said, you guys are getting to really know the real embrace without having all this work. You know what I'm saying? But thank
Right.
you for coming up here. I know you've been hearing. I know you just got off with Humble Dad.
Oh yes.
Um, I know it was a good one. When I saw that, man, I wanted to jump in there, but I knew I had to do here. So I mean, I know you've been listening to me talk. What say you? What say you?
You know what? Here's the thing. Sometimes you have to know your audience, and sometimes you have to expose them to different people's perspective. Just like you were talking about how so Becky's were actually, with these brothers at the draft or whatever. But I don't think anybody ever took into consideration the perspective of these young men's mothers. You know what I'm saying? Those women and some of those fathers actually sacrificed to send their sons to a particular school. You know what I mean? That cost a lot of money. You know what I mean? College is not free, and a lot of these women and men have actually sacrificed a lot to get their children to where they are. You know, and anybody along the way who's helped their son, you'll see that the mamas will embrace those who actually took care of their children. You know, so it actually has nothing to do with the color of the young lady who was there. The mama, all she saw was that this girl took a shine to my young man, and she took care of him, when he wasn't there. So think about it. There are actually black girls who were actually at the draft too. I don't remember. Y'all don't know if y'all remember this or not, but C.D. Lamb, when he got drafted by the Cowboys, his girlfriend wasn't white; she was black. And right when he was finna get the call, she started playing with his other phone. So he had to snatch it out of her hand and say, "Man, give me this." The Cowboy, I got the Cowboys on the line. They finna get ready to draft me, and you worried about who trying to talk to me. You know what I mean? You've been here. So why are you so insecure in your position? You see what I'm saying? Just relax. Just relax. You here now. We here now. You don't have to worry about nobody taking your place. You know what I mean? And I think the problem with we're not having an honest conversation about what's really going on. You know what I mean? It's the ability to want to serve those who you enjoy company with. You know what I'm saying? Those women who are around those athletes, they serve those guys. They brought them Chick-fil-A or whatever when they was hungry, or they favorite kava bowl. They brought them something to drink or whatever. Those women actually invested their time in those particular men, not because they were seeking a return, because it was the right thing to do. Now, on the outside looking in, a lot of women, they look at, well, he doesn't deserve to be with a Becky. You know what I mean? Because they're looking at it as if, that should have been me. It's the audacity of the entitlement that I think a lot of people don't have the courage to speak about. There's like, well, you're always picking the white girls or whatever. Well, what about the guys who are in school to be a plumber? I don't see y'all fighting over those guys. It's always the ones who have, what you think you deserve, you should have, that you guys want to fight over and complain about. There are plenty of men everywhere who need a good wife. You see what I'm saying? But for some reason, whenever a guy hits that big money, they automatically assume that, hey, I'm entitled to his provision. I'm entitled to being underneath him when they didn't put no work in. And I'll assure you, it's the same way with the plumber. The plumber said, I went to trade school and you weren't in the gym with me, so I'm not going to take you either. So what happens is a lot of women are rubbed up against their own entitlement and their own judgment. You know what I'm saying? How they look at these athletes and anybody else that they think that they're better than. And then they wind up spending the next 30 or 40, 50 years of their life alone. You see what I'm saying? And they don't know why. It's because you didn't have it in you to serve. You know what I'm saying?
Did you hear what I said?
It ain't in you. That's why I tell people all the time, man, selfish women should not be married because you're not bringing anything to the table. Those women who are actually by those guys' side, those particular women actually were serving. And guess what? They should reap what they sowed. That's how I look at it.
And you know what, I saw it. I lived it. I was one of those chicks. I was the one. I mean, yes, the school paid me, but I was the chick that picked up the 2-star basketball players and drove them to school because they lived too far. But because the school I went to had money, but you know what? They made sure they was fed, made sure that everything was taken care of. They took care of them You want lunch? Go bought him lunch. I mean, whatever. It may seem simpy in a women's kind of way, but at the end of the day, we do it because we want what we want. Again, men don't really require much from us, but a lot of us make such a big deal. What is the big deal about cooking? What is the big deal about keeping the house clean? What is the big deal of just inspiring your man, asking him, how was your day? Is there anything that I can do to make your day better? How many of y'all have really gone to your man's job and brought him lunch? Without even calling or asking or anything. How many of y'all have woke up early in the morning and made him a breakfast before he went to work? Instead of him getting a $9 croissant at Dunkin' Donuts when he could just get a $6 and make it. But we don't think like that. Like I heard a lot of women say, I'm not getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning making no sandwich. He can make it his damn self, especially if I got to be at work early in the morning.
And they shouldn't be a wife. I'm just being honest. Because when you do stuff like that, you teach your children to be selfish. And nobody likes a selfish kid. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main reason why I say a lot of times, man, people in marriages, they squander the opportunity to actually experience what marriage really is. Marriage is the development of one another, men and women. We're not finished products. You see what I'm saying? And I think what happens is a lot of times people think when they get on, that's it. You know what I mean? You get married and the development stops. But the thing about it is,
no,
your development never stops.
It only just begins.
Some years old, until you leave this earth, you will always be learning, because the person you start out at 20 years old will be totally vastly different from the person that you're at 50. But the problem is we don't seek wisdom because we have too much invested in our emotions and our survival. Could you imagine? Think about it. A lot of women like to say, well, I don't need a man for this because I have that. Well, that may be true. And the reason why a lot of men don't care about women's money is because they know they're not going to spend any of that money on them.
Exactly.
It's selfishness. So what's the point of you telling me you have money, when you're not going to reciprocate? You might as well keep your money and stay over there and be happy. That's fine. But don't stand in the way of women who want to serve. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you. And King Smith, thank you for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I know I say a lot of things that are against the grain, but I talk about these things because I lived it. I've seen it. I've seen what works. But I always get kicked back about, well, you did everything right. You did all this and you still got cheated on. Your marriage. Okay. That's okay. That had nothing to do with me. That was his issue. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's a risk. It's a risk, and we take a chance in everything we do in life. Marriage is not 100% guaranteed, but you got to at least try it. Give your kids a fighting chance to grow up with a mother and a father. Like, damn.
You know what, Gracie? I think a lot of times men and women, we don't take the time out to actually learn one another. You see what I'm saying? It comes down to what you want to get. You know what I mean? I see a lot of men who just think I should just get a baddie because I'm the man. So I got no money. I should get a baddie. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you haven't gotten yourself to the point where you embrace wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Then guess what? You're not going to keep that person anyway. If you're wise, you'll find out that person doesn't reciprocate, but it's because you fell in love with your own selfishness. You know what I mean? And women do the same thing. The first thing they look at is provision, is because they're thinking about survival. Just like we talked about on Humble Dad's podcast today, you have a lot of women who like to take, their fruit that they've been given and consume the whole thing and don't save the seeds. You know what I mean? A wife will take those seeds and plant those seeds and take care of those things so that they grow. I have never seen anything I have never seen anything dead bring forth life. It just doesn't happen. So when you're given life, it's up to you to take care of it, to nurture it, to let it grow. That's why I have this thing now. If I ever met a woman and she hasn't taken care of anything other than herself, she doesn't qualify to be my wife, because she doesn't have the heart to teach things how to grow, to nurture.
So what if she had a pet? If she had a dog?
The dog's still alive, you good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't tell you how many people walk around with these stuffed animals, you know what I mean, thinking that, hey, you know, this is my child. But at the end of the day, if you haven't learned how to nurture anything, then you don't qualify to be somebody's husband, because the primary function of a mother is to nurture. And if you're teaching my kids to be selfish, then guess what? You're doing their wife or their husband a disservice. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think that a lot of people take in consideration that your own selfishness is teaching your children to be selfish. And when they go out into the world, they go out and they lie to women, they cheat on women. You know what I'm saying? Or they go out and they cheat on husbands and men. You know, it's because you're selfish. And I think until you get that selfishness under control, that I don't think you really need to be nurturing anybody. You know, that's how I look at it. You need to fix what it is in you that's broken first before you tend to try to raise anybody else. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is everybody thinks they're perfect. That's the issue. You know, watching Kevin do his show where everybody thought there were a 10, and I can just sit back and listen. I said, not one woman offered anything that they can do for the man. All they wanted to know was what the six-figure man can do for her. I think, ain't that what Kennedy said? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country?
For your country?
Man, that is real talk in any relationship. You know, the first thing when you get into a relationship, you should ask, you know, what value do I bring to this person's life? Where do I fit in to helping this person out? And vice versa. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're busy developing the other person, learning the other person, you can anticipate that person's needs. That's why I always say cheating is so unnecessary. I think the reason why a lot of people cheat is because they don't foster the environment for open discussion without judgment. You see what I'm saying? Because think about it. If a lot of times, you know, people ragged on Kevin talking about, I ain't really have, you know, nothing against what he said. It was his tone. Well, you know what? You can get a smooth talking brother like myself and tell you the truth the way you want to do it, and you still not gonna listen. You still not gonna listen.
So, and whether it's Take Heed saying it, whether it's me saying it, whether it's you saying it, but I mean, what is it? What is it? And there's a good one here for you in the chat. It says, Lady D, this has to be for you, babe. Black women don't deserve our men, happiness, wealth, and you pick people and sit on a panel and brag about how Becky and we ain't shit.
Well, I put it to you like this. I'm gonna address Lady D. Lady D, nobody is telling black women that they ain't shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the first one to tell you that. It's not about what you do. You know what I mean? Not about who you are. It's about how you do it. You know what I mean? I think the main reason why people have a problem with accountability, because they don't separate themselves from the task or the deed at hand. They figure out that just because you did something bad, you're a bad person. No, you just made a bad decision. You can grow from it. You know what I mean? You're not a bad person, so to speak. You just made a bad decision. But the problem is when you call people out on that bad decision, they think that you're calling them bad, and they take on that judgment as a referendum against them. You see what I'm saying? Lady D is not a bad person. She's just misunderstood. And that's the reason why I don't really come at her like that for real, because you have to meet people where they are. You have to realize who you're talking to, who your audience is. I got into a discussion with a friend of mine today, and I told her that Take Heed was, you know, featured on D.L. Hughley's show or whatever. And a friend of mine was like, they eat and Take Heed up in the comments. I said, baby, first of all, you need to take into consideration the audience that D.L. Hughley has. You see what I'm saying? If you look at those people that's in that chat, those people are young. They don't know any better. I said, if you take that same message that Take Heed said, and you go over to the Crimson Cure, and you look down in that comment section where people are mature, those people agree with the exact same message. So it's all about the audience and their perspective and their maturity level. Take Heed is not wrong in her message. She said what she said, and there's wisdom in that. But my thing is this: if you haven't gained enough knowledge and wisdom and experience to understand and appreciate wisdom when it's presented to you, of course you're going to think that Take Heed is wrong. It's not Take Heed that's wrong. It's the fact that you're not mature enough to accept reality.
Did you hear what I said?
Absolutely. Here's another good one. Anissa said, you don't think those women that invest in those athletes aren't looking for a return? That's why they pick these guys.
But you know what? Here's the thing I say about that. Those women got up off of their ass.
Did you hear what I said?
You know what I'm saying? They got up off of their ass. They actually did something about it. They had the same level of access as Becky, but Becky chose to do something about it. The problem is that a lot of our sisters, they have a, how should I say, have a mind frame or mindset that men aren't worth investing in. So guess what? They don't. And when they don't invest in and they see somebody else celebrating with what they feel like they should have gotten, then they're mad because they weren't chosen. When nobody can choose you if they don't see you.
Did you hear what I said?
That's why I tell women all the time, you have to make yourself available. I heard Kendra G say the other day, she said, not Kendra G, yeah, Kendra G said the other day, she said, your options is staring you in your face. It's right where you are. You know what I'm saying? That is your options. Your options is not the NFL player because you don't come in contact with those guys. Your options are not the CEO. That's not where you are in life. Your options are right there where you see when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the church. That is your pool that you have to choose from. Now, could you change pools? Yes, you can. I was talking to Prototype. He was saying that, you know, when you go, you want trout, you go to the pond, and all you keep pulling out is catfish. Well, guess what? You need to quit fishing in the catfish pond.
Did you hear what I said?
If you want trout, you need to go down by the river where the bears at. The bears know where the trout is. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is either you get better at who you are, change locations where you are, or accept the responsibility where you are and say, hey, I'm not moving, and this is my options. Now, you know where the delusion comes in? People do nothing about their problem or their particular situation, and they still feel like they're entitled to what they want or whatever fantasy they think they deserve without even putting in the work.
And if you want change, you got to change.
Correct.
I mean, isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result.
Correct.
I mean, come on. If you're going into the same clubs, to the same corners, you're going to meet the same guys. You got to go, like, and Kevin Samuels used to say it, go and sit at a bar. You know, leave that phone in your purse. Make yourself available to have the conversation.
Right. I remember he had this conversation with this one lady. She was in Kansas, and she said she wanted a 6-figure man. And he looked up the median income of the person, the average person in Kansas. He was like, you need to leave Kansas. He said, you need to go to Atlanta. You need to go to DC. You need to go to California. You need to go to Texas. He said, that's where the money and the men are. You're not going to find those 6-figure men in Kansas. And that's just reality. You know, sometimes you have to move around. You know, this country ain't slowing you down. Move around, get seen. You know, that's one way you can do it, or become better at what you're doing. You know.
Absolutely. But it's funny how I mean, I even made sure that tonight I didn't bring up race or anything, but it's Lady D that brings up the race issue. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
the video.
I'm gonna tell you why people bring up race. People bring up race to skirt accountability. It's just too easy. It's easy to say, oh, he's always picking white women. No, how come you're not better? There are guys who pick black women all the time. On the average, most black men marry most black women. But the thing
can you say that again for the people in the back that don't listen, you know, and get mad when I say it, but because you're a black man, you know, maybe they'll take heed to the message. Can you say that again, please?
I said most black men pick black women. They do. But my thing is this, people don't look at that portion of the equation. All they do is look at what they want and say, hey, it's too easy for you to blame it on race when accountability on your part is not being addressed. You see what I'm saying? You could have very well been in that position. You just decide to sit on your hands and do nothing about it.
I hear you. Oh, let me give a shout out to Actual King. My bad. He's in the place. Adam Kidd, you've been busy. Thank you very much with all the comments. Just been busy up here with the panel. Shout out to my twins, Smitty's Corner. How you doing? Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. You know, You're gonna have good support. You're gonna have bad support. You know what? I'm gonna take it all in. Lit. Support is support. It's just how you deal with it. I know I say a lot of things that are maybe controversial to some. I know I go against the grain, but you know what? This is important to me. It's important to me that if I could change one mindset, that might be my son's wife. And I have to deal with that lady for the rest of my life and deal with how she raised my grandbabies and know my position. Because I'm not going to be those hovering mothers. You need me to help? You got to call me. You don't know how to cook his favorites? I'll teach you how to cook it. But don't call me because I'm not going to be the type of mom to take care of your kids 5 days a week, cook for y'all every time. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You're a man now. And you're a grown ass woman. But the thing is it's like people really get in their feelings about this bullshit. It's like, wow. You're on mute.
I'm glad Lady D put this up, and I'm going to put it to
What
you
she
like this.
put?
She said, as a teenager, I was the most sweet, caring human being you could ever know. You know who taught me how to be selfish and not care about anyone but myself? Black men. That's where I learned it from. You know what, Lady D? That's legit. That's legit. I'm going to tell you why it's legit. Because what happens is your experiences shape your viewpoint. I agree with that. But at the same time, women have to still take accountability for the exact opposite. Men become who they are because of the women that they've experienced. Now, here's the thing about that. Either you can stop letting people use you or abuse you, or you can stop complaining.
Did you hear what I said?
Never complain about what you permit. That's the very reason why I don't date selfish women. Is because I already know what they come for. You see what I'm saying? I already know why they're here. So that's the reason why I don't go around with a broken heart. That's the reason why I don't go around saying, hey, black women ain't this, that, because I've had too many good women in my life. You see what I'm saying? It's too, because it's what you invite into your life is how you experience it. And I have the wisdom enough to know that there are women who are here who are just like Lady D, who have had their heart broken by men, and she's experienced that. That what she experienced is real because men go through the exact same thing. That's the reason why we have the space that we have now. Guys have come together and they're comparing notes and say, hey, look, this is what happened to me. That happened to you too. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? And they compare notes. And then women do the same thing. They come together and they compare notes. But my question to you, Lady D, is when are you going to stop letting people use you? When are you going to stop letting people cheat on you? When are you going to stop letting people lie to you? That's accountability on your part. Nobody could come into your heart unless you allow them to. Now, the question is, why do you continue, or anybody else continue, to allow certain people come in? I think that is the real issue. The real issue is that there's something in you that is lacking. And that portion of you that allows anybody to come in needs to be fixed. It needs to be healed. She needs to go to therapy. A lot of people need to go to therapy, you know what I'm saying, and work that out. Because what happens is it's hard for you to see your own imperfections. That's why you need somebody on the outside to point those things out and to guide you through how to fix that. I've had a friend of mine, I was telling her the other day, I said, the reason why these same guys keep showing up is because you haven't fixed your abandonment issues. That's the reason why you fight loneliness. That's the reason why any old man will do. Any guy who shows you a little bit of interest, you falling in love. You're not falling in love with that man. You're falling in love with your selfishness and yourself. And you automatically assume that if I'm just in this man's face, then automatically he's supposed to love me. That's not how that works.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, have you gotten to know this man? Have you gotten to know what he wants? Have you even asked him what he needs? All you do is talk about, well, he sent me flowers, he took me this, he dresses this way, he makes you look good. But my thing is this, you have to ask yourself, do you make him look good? Have you sent him flowers? Have you dressed nicely for him? You see what I'm saying? Those are the missing pieces that we never talk about, because you know what? It's all about our tone, baby. You know, baby, you're not a 10. No, you're not. Darling, you're not a 10. You know, you're a work in progress. You can get there, but there's certain work that's required. I'm not going to tell anybody what they can and what they cannot do. My thing is this: your truth should be tested against reality. And if what you've been doing has not yielded you the results that you've wanted, that means you're not doing what's necessary to get what you desire.
I have a question for you. What red flags that you see that determines that woman is selfish? And ladies, we're listening it from a man, so we can learn. In order to learn from men about men, you got to learn from men. What to you is a red flag that tells you that woman is selfish?
When she calls me and never asks me how am I doing, or never clear my time as if I'm not busy. It's, hey,
Okay.
I need you to do this for me. First of all,
hi.
Did you even say good morning to me? Did you even ask me how I was doing? Did you even ask me, was I busy helping somebody else? You just automatically assume I should just stop what I'm doing to satisfy whatever it is you need? No. That's a number one red flag as far as I'm concerned. If you never ask me how I'm doing, and I'm always asking you how you doing, you don't reciprocate, that's a red flag. You know why?
You see, and it's such a trivial, it's so little. Just how you doing today? How was your
You
day?
don't have manners. You don't have manners, And the thing about it is, if I'm going to have a woman with kids, I need her to have that already ingrained in her so she can pass that on to the kids. Because what happens is when you have well-mannered kids, the world opens up to them because people want to be around them. People want to network around those people. Nobody wants to hang around selfish people because they're always taking and they're never giving. They're never watering other people's gardens. They're never even allowing other people to water their garden. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is this: my number one red flag is if they automatically assume that I'm not busy and I'm there waiting for their call. You know what I'm saying? Don't even ask me how I'm doing. That's my number one red flag.
Okay, I want 3. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is if you don't take care of yourself. My whole thing is this: if you never take care of yourself, you don't care. You don't want to be here long term. You just say, I'm going to get what I want to get, and that's it. The mission of goal in life and to be married is to be married and live a long time. You see what I'm saying? And when somebody takes their health as a priority, that means that's somebody who wants to be there for the long haul, who wants to grow and be there. You know what I'm saying? I heard Jerry Jones say, he said, the best ability is availability. You see what I'm saying?
I wrote that down.
That's right. You can't be here to help me if you're not here. If you can't take care of your body, how can I expect you to, the person who's supposed to be in charge of nutrition, to give me the things that I need? You see what I'm saying? The basic stuff. Then I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
And final one, what's your third red flag?
If you don't believe in anything greater than yourself, if the whole world revolves around you, that lets me know that you're selfish and you don't care about anybody else.
And your kids are going to be that way too.
Correct. You're gonna raise a bunch of spoiled kids, and you're gonna spend your whole life giving them the things that you never had. And for what? You can't take this stuff with you.
Do you really think that most men think and have the thoughts like you? Do most men think like that, Lit?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Most men are busy working. They don't have time to develop themselves. Kevin was real big on developing yourself, reading, becoming more than who you are each and every single day. Most guys are trying to survive, trying to take care of their family. Think about how often do you see men taking time out of their day to pick up a book or to learn a new hobby, new skill? No, they're firemen. They're going out putting fires out all day long. Daddy, can you pick me up? Daddy, can you do this? Daddy, can you take me here? Can you do this? You know what I mean? That type of thing. Or the honey, could you take out the trash? By the time he gets through doing everything for everybody else, there is very little time for him to develop himself. Now,
and then he can't even get no pussy after that. God damn, Lit.
You know what? And the killing part about it is when that need goes neglected, then all of a sudden it's a problem when he wants to outsource that. It's okay if you outsource the cooking. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna call DoorDash. You know what I mean? It's okay to outsource the cleaning. You know what I mean? We're gonna call the cleaning lady. But when it comes to your dadgum sex, you know what I mean? You always want to get mad when he wants to outsource that.
Hear what I said?
Now, I'm not condoning cheating. I'm not condoning cheating, but my thing is keep that same energy. You know what I mean? If you outsource everything you're doing, then what's the purpose of you? What's the purpose?
Well, in Trey's words from the last show that he just did with our pain, they're useless. That's what
I
he
wouldn't.
said.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't say they're useless because you can learn anything from anybody. You know, you can learn what you don't want from somebody and grow. But at the end of the day, what's your purpose? You know, why are you here? That's how I look at it. Why are you here? Know your why. I tell people all the time, know your why. Gentlemen, know your why. Know why you get up and go to work every day. Know why you want to be who you want to be. You know where and why you serve your piece of your own community in your world. Know your why, because your why will give you direction. And if you know where you're going, you know your direction, then you'll know who can help you along the way instead of having people to waste your time.
You're absolutely right, but we're too busy exercising options. We're too busy trying to chase the bag. We're too busy putting each other down or dragging each other through the mud instead of uplifting each other.
Right.
And it's really sad that people take it as me bashing, but it's just talking about what's really going on in the realm of reality.
Right.
Again, if it doesn't apply, let it fly.
Right.
But if you know, if I'm saying something and it triggers you, then I must have said something that has some truth in it. And as Humble Dad said, most women or people can't handle the truth.
You know what the thing about it is, Gracie, I think hustle culture and horror culture has ruined us. You know what I mean? It's we feel like the more money we get, the better the person we're going to be. We think that the more women we get, the more man we'll be. You know what I'm saying? And that could be further from the truth. You know, my whole thing is this: if you know how to control yourself around your woman, you know, around different women where you only have one, then you deserve to be a husband. Just like if a woman can only rely on one man for her resources, then you know she deserves to be a wife because they'll focus on each other. But the problem is we like to cover up our insecurities as far as men with our money, and women like to cover up their insecurities with their beauty.
Absolutely. And you see, you're including the men in there too. We're not just, you know, bashing the women.
That's why I didn't say nothing about the men, but you know, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you say it. And throw the men under the bus a little bit too to make them get the message. Fellas, hey, wink, wink, nod, nod. You know what I'm saying? We already know what time it is. You know, I don't have to preach to the choir. They already know what's up.
You're absolutely right. Well, tonight was good. Tonight was a good conversation. I know you missed the first video, and I told Black Man that I want to end the show with that video, because at the end of the day, this is all what we all want at our end of life. So Black David or BMU, who's ever back there, play that first video again, please. She's only been gone for 2 weeks for a wedding. Look at the anticipation. 80 years old. Flowers and candies. Look, you're gonna see, you'll see when she sees her. Look his face light up. I know that's right. That is just so heartwarming and touching. Be like, nigga, get on the side of the road. I'll pick you up at there. You know what? He went and parked the car. You see what I'm saying? He went and got her roses and candies. And to a lot of men and the age that we live in now, they may be simpish, but that's a husband. There is no simpish behavior when you're a husband and your duty is to serve. And
You know
she
what?
was only gone for 2 weeks, lit. 2 weeks for a wedding.
I'm gonna give you some perspective. We talked about this on Humble Dad's podcast tonight.
Okay.
Men are rewarded, for what they do. You know what I mean? They're rewarded for what they're appreciated by. And as you can see, the reason why he did that is because she reciprocated the joy that he decided to give to her. And I think that's the portion that we're missing. If you mess around and all you do is have sex with Pookies and Ray Rays all the time, you know what I mean? That's going to tell the good guys, you know what? It's better to be a Pookie, But my thing is this: if you meet your husband with joy and gladness, then you'll see the smile that this gentleman put on his wife's face. And you know what? She reciprocated by saying, you know what? Let me get this man some sugar. He went out his way to bring me some flowers and candy, just like we did when we were younger. And if you reward good behavior, you'll continue to get good behavior. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That was beautiful.
He got his sugar. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I get called a pick me, but we want to get picked and we want to have that life with our husband, and we want our husband to expect to still be attracted to us, still want us, still want to be with us, but we don't do the same. And ladies, that's all I'm saying. This has nothing to do with race. If there's a particular amount of women that the majority happens to be a certain race, then let it be. But it's all across the board. You got selfish white women, selfish Latino women, but everybody gets in their feelings because they don't know what I am. And you're supposed to be a certain shade to talk about a certain topic. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Let's read some of these. Let's see. Hold on a second. Shiesty Bump says most men are simps, especially the married ones. Well, that's just it, Shiesty Bump. The whole purpose of being married is of service and duty.
That's right.
But you see, you don't know that because you've never probably seen it and you've never done it yourself. I asked a married couple. I asked a man, what makes your marriage like? What's your secret? He said, I wake up every day trying to do what I can do to make my wife's life easier, what I can do to service from her. And he was like, well, does she do the same for you? And he was like, sometimes, but when she does it, she goes all out. So at least he knows he's getting some crumbs, but at the end of the day, he wakes up with the spirit of service and duty and how to make his wife's life easier. Women, do we do that? Do we wake up and say, what am I going to do for Lit today? Make his life easier.
That's right. That's right.
What do you guys want a man, but don't do the things to keep a man or get a man. I start on the first day, Lit. I ain't even gonna lie to you, especially if I'm feeling him. I'm taking the straw. I'm putting the straw. I'm putting your napkins and I'm giving you sanitizer to wipe. I'm with the Clorox wipe to wipe the table and stuff like that. And a lot of my friend girls say you're doing too much. I said no. They might as well get to know me on the first date because that's who I am.
Right. We spend too much time worrying about what other people outside of our relationship think. We really do. I don't think that that married man was concerned about the internet when he met his wife with some flowers and some candy. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose of getting married, forsaking all others. Don't worry about what everybody's thinking. Water the grass in your own yard. Don't worry about anybody else. And I think Shiesty Bum was like, there's a whole lot of married men in her DM. I assure you, those wives aren't taking care of their husband. Or else they wouldn't.
So
have
no,
to
but no. Here goes the insult. She was like, Grace, was your first marriage because you got knocked up? That's how most y'all older women did. Well, first of all, the guy that I got knocked up with, I've known him since I was 13 years old, and we dated since high school, and then we dated in college, and then we broke up, and we turned right back around 10 years later. And we dated for a year before I got knocked up.
Well,
And
Grace,
then I required marriage of him.
Grace, let me ask you this. What does your situation have to do with hers?
No, because she
Hear what
wants
I
to
said.
prove
Absolutely nothing. Stop. Let me tell you something. What people do. What people do is they reflect
Yeah.
and redirect. You see what I'm saying? They always want to say, well, what about you? What about me? My life has nothing to do with yours. So what are you going to do to make your life better? And I think we just need to stop, man. Like real talk. In order for us to have legit conversations, we're going to have to stop, reflecting and deflecting. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop, man, because it doesn't help you. It does not help anyone. All they're doing is seeking to destroy people who actually
But
come
you know
legit
what?
to
They
help.
can only seek and destroy if you allow them to. I'm not
Right.
scared, or I'm not hiding anything.
Yeah, but it's derailing the conversation. I wanted to
You're
end the
right.
show on the old man and his beautiful wife.
You're right. You're
But here
absolutely
come the
right.
trolls.
Ladies
Here
and
come the
gentlemen, you see
trolls.
how the man just took the lead?
Yes.
You see how it's done? Do you see how it's done? How the man takes the lead, and it's my show, and I'm still going to show submission because he's right. He's absolutely right.
I want
So
you to
with
have
that being,
a good product.
with that, absolutely, and with that being said, Lit, go ahead and give me your final thoughts. I know you came in the midway through everything. Go ahead and give me your final thoughts so we can get up and wrap it up.
My final thoughts is take care of those who take care of you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what all that really matters anyway. I can't make it no plainer, no simpler than that. Keep other folks out your business and make sure you water your own lawn. Your grass will always be green if you take care of it. And that's it. That's all I'm gonna say, Grace.
Absolutely. So with that being said, whether you're a pick me, a mammy, or you're a wannabe, or you're weak, or you're soft, at the end of the day, we all want to end up being with somebody. We all want to end up having a family, but we're too selfish. We're too self-entitled. We're thinking just because we have a vagina or a penis between our legs that's all we have to offer. So all I can say to my younger people is don't give up. If you don't know something, learn, read, do your research, go on YouTube, go to your elders, the ones that are doing it. If you want to be rich, you don't hang around with broke folks. If you want to get married, you talk to married people that's been there. You want to know about relationships, you talk to people that are in relationships, and that's what they do. So with that being said, to my embracers, don't forget to come check us out tomorrow night. Black Man Unfiltered, Flipping Tables, hosted by Black Man Unfiltered and Lost in Translation. Don't forget to check me out. Check out JT What We Know podcast on Wednesday night. But I think this week he's not doing the show. His baby girl is graduating from college, so he's busy doing that. Thursday, me, JVJ Network, and the rest of the crew and the rest of the family. Thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate all the comments, participation, engagements, and thank you for the Cash App. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and y'all have a good night. Peace.